on this. Doug?
Well, the Gwinnett Elections Board was meeting here this afternoon today, and it met not only because it was scheduled to certify the election today. That is not going to happen today. That's probably going to happen later in the week, as you said, but it also was meeting in response to a judge's order that the county start counting hundreds of ballots that it had previously rejected. And there has obviously been a lot of partisan interest in this, Gwinnett County workers began recounting absentee ballots at midday today. And because the Gwinnett Board of Elections scheduled a meeting in the same space this afternoon, there were about 100 people crowded into the room adjacent to where the recount was taking place. The crowd seemed to split along party lines, with one side demanding that all votes be counted and another side insisting that fraudulent voting be stopped. And the board heard public comment reflecting those opinions.
And I take my vote very seriously. And I think everybody on this board needs to be fighting for the vote, not to try to suppress the vote. And I urge all of you to make sure that every vote gets counted in the state of Georgia, in Gwinnett County.
What Team Abrams is asking you to do is to treat voters in 2018 differently than what voters in 2016 and 2014 were treated.
You are making this a racial issue.
I can hear you without you yelling.
The folks in the crowd also argued among themselves when the meeting went into recess, resolving nothing, obviously. Gwinnett's votes are, of course, of deep interest in the governor's race and the recounts that are taking place in that race, but it's also of significant interest to the 7th congressional district race, the one between Democrat Carolyn Bourdeaux and incumbent Republican Rob Woodall. Those votes are that race is only about 900 votes apart, and whatever happens here will likely impact that vote total. Live in Lawrenceville, Doug Richards.